All right, so we're going to look at some notes, and we're going to look at multiplying decimals. So we've covered adding decimals, we've covered subtracting decimals. Now we're going to look at multiplying decimals. I'll try to autofocus this, make it a little bit clearer, as clear as we can get it. So just like we did with adding and subtracting, we got a couple steps we want to follow, okay? When multiplying, you want to put the number with the least digits on bottom. And you'll see what I mean with that when we get going. So the number with the least digits goes on the bottom. So it doesn't matter order, like how it's written to you. The one with the least digits goes on the bottom. And you'll see in our first example what I mean by that. You will ignore the decimal. That doesn't mean don't write it. That just means when we write out our numbers, we ignore the decimal and multiply. Then we count numbers to the right of the decimal in problem. And then that's where, and then you place decimal that far in product, which is the answer. I know this might sound confusing. You'll see what I mean when we do it. Product is the answer. You'll see when we do an example, you'll see what I mean by this. All right. So let's look at an example. The first example we're going to look at is we're going to look at 7.2 times 11.6. So we're going to take these two numbers and we're going to multiply them. We're going to have to stack them. So the first thing, like I said, the first thing we do is we want to put the number with the least digits on the bottom. Well, let's count our digits. This one has 1, 2 digits. This one has 1, 2, 3. So this one has 2. This will go on the bottom. Even though it's listed first, with multiplication, it doesn't matter the order. So how we will set this up is we will go 11.6, then 2, 7.2. Here our decimals happen to line up, but they don't always have to, and you'll see in another example. We show we're multiplying. Now with multiplying, 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. There was nothing to carry, so we don't have that. We started in our ones digit when we multiplied, so that's why we put a number in our ones digit. Now we're going to move over to the tens digit. Because we're going to move to the tens digit, we jump down a row, and in that ones digit, we put a 0. So anytime we move over and we start new, we place a 0. Now we go through. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 is 11. Carry the 1. 7 times 7 is 7, plus 1 is 8. We have all these numbers. Now we add. 2 plus 0, 2. 3 plus 2, 5. 2 plus 1, 2. 8 plus 0, 8. Here's where these two come into play. It says count the numbers to the right of the decimal in the problem. So for this number, draw an arrow. How many numbers are to the right of this decimal? There are 1. So we're going to put a 1. Next one, draw an arrow. How many numbers are to the right of this decimal? There are 1. So we're going to put a 1. So we have a total of 2 here. So our decimal will go over 1, 2 spots. So 7.2 times 11.6 is 82.52. So the key here, don't worry about lining up your decimal. You're going to actually line up your digits. Try to focus that again. So let's look at another problem. Let's look at 0.93 times 24. And with 24, because it's a whole number, the decimal actually is after the 4. Now this one has 1, 2 digits. This one has 1, 2, 3 digits. So we're going to put the 24 on the bottom. So we'll go 0.93 times 24. And again, here, if you see the decimals here, the decimals here, they did not line up. I lined up my digits here. I ignored my decimal. Now we just do our multiplication. We're in the ones digits, so we go here. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 9 is 36. Plus 1 is 37. Okay, we carry the 3. 4 times 0 is 0. Plus 3 is 3. We jumped over to the tens digit, so a 0 goes in the ones digit. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 9 is 18. Carry the 1. 2 times 0 is 0. Plus 1 is 1. Now we add. 2 and 0 is 2. 7 and 6 is 13. Carry the 1. 8 and 3 is 11. Plus 1 is 12. Carry the 1. And 2. Draw our arrows. How many numbers are to the right of this decimal? 1, 2. How many numbers are to the right of this decimal? 0. So we add them up. 2 and 0 is 2. So we move our decimal over 1, 2 spots. So our answer is 22.32. And let's do one more example, just because it'd be fun. And there's another possible scenario we could run into. So we're going to do 7.65 times 12.4. So here, this one has 3 digits. This one has 3 digits. It does not matter. You could put 12.4 on top. You could put, or on bottom, you could put 7.6 on the bottom. I'm going to put 12.4 on the bottom just because. So we have 7.65. Oh, you can't see that problem. Sorry, guys. Right. So again, 7.65 times 12.4, 3 and 3. We're going to put 7.65 on top. 12.4. Here again, I lined up my digits, not my decimals. And now I just multiply. 4 and 5 is 20. Carry the 2. 4 and 6 is 24. 25, 26. Carry the 2. 4 and 7 is 28. Plus 2 is 30. We're moving to the tens digits, so I'm going to put a 0 here. 2 and 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 and 6 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. Carry the 1. 2 and 7 is 14. Plus 1 is 15. Now, here we are going over to the hundreds, or we're moving over 2 spots before we multiply. So we're going to put 2 zeros here. So when we moved over to the 2, we put 1 0. When we move over to the 1, we're moving 2 spots. We had 2 zeros. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 7 is 7. Then we add. 0, 0, and 0 is 0. 6, 0, and 0 is 6. 0, 3, and 5 is 8. 3, 5 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. And 7 and 1 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. Now let's draw our arrow. How many digits are to the right? 1, 2. How many digits are to the right of that one? 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So I move my decimal over 1, 2, 3 spots. So my answer is 94.86. You don't need the 0 on the end. If there's a 0 on the very end, you do not need that. If you want to add it, you can. So that is multiplying decimals. Remember, you don't need to line up the decimals. You kind of just line up the numbers. How you figure out where the decimal goes, you count how many numbers are to the right of the decimal and the problem. And then you add up those numbers. So we will have a chance to discuss this, get some clarification if you are confused on anything.